You're listening to the Black Minds Matters podcast in association with WCEN. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Peaks, and I'm joined with my co-host,
Mr. X. What's good?
Okay, what's good? You are listening to the Black Minds Matters podcast show. Now, the reason for this podcast show is to raise the spirits and have a diversity of young voices that are currently not being heard. For them to share their needs and experiences of what's happening in their communities and the different things that they're doing to cope with the current situation. We're all going through some stuff right now. The whole world is on lockdown, and we want to get the different voices from people from different walks of life. If you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you are somebody who's performing arts, or you work in the community, the NHS, whatever it is, we want to hear from you. And we have our first guest. His name is Emarvellous. He's a support worker from Cardiff, and he also does music. So what's good, E? Are you here?
I'm sure I'm here, man. How you doing? It's nice to hear your voice.
Yeah, what's good? Emarvellous.
Big up my man, Mr. X.
Okay. For those that don't know who this guy is, basically, actually, me and him go way back.
Way back.
Uncountable years, man.
I know. It's sick. I mean, like, you're in Wales now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know the thing is, though? It's funny because, like, people lose contact, but
yeah.
I made sure it was my business to keep in contact with you, like friendly wise and stuff like, man, which is a good thing.
Absolutely.
You get people that just forget about each other.
Absolutely, I know. I mean, me and Emarvellous go way back to the Hackney Kingsmead days, and that's where you're from, right? You're originally from Hackney.
Yeah, because I was gonna say there's no accent there.
Wally Foster's.
Wally Foster's.
My accent can't hide, man.
Yeah, Wally Foster's is a community centre in Hackney that I used to go to when I was knee high, and Emarvellous went there as well. So
yeah.
I mean that's our history.
They
knee high.
Do all that karate stuff there, remember?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Days. Okay, let's get into it. So basically now, Peaks is going to be more or less conducting the interview. I'm just going to come here and throw in my 2 pence now and again and stuff. So
can you give us a bit of a history from like your care work and your support work, and also you being an artist? So if you can just give us a little briefer.
Yeah, support work. I got into that because of because what I used to do, I used to work in a council for about a good amount of years.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I thought to myself, I wanted to make a transition. So I don't know why I came up with Cardiff first, but I just thought to myself, let me just check out Cardiff. And what really got me into the inspiration of things, because I used to see loads of people on the streets, drunk and stuff like that, and like there was various other things. As I was thinking to myself, there has to be something that makes someone flip. Do you know what I mean? No one's gonna just wake up and all of a sudden say, I want to be an alcoholic, or they just want to get into certain situations that they shouldn't be getting into. And then what I did, I started doing volunteering, and then after I'd made that transition over to Cardiff, and there was like a big place called like the Huggard Centre. So first of all, I started volunteering there. And then I was volunteering in the Blinds Institute as well. So I was getting the feel of both directions. So the Huggard Centre is like an organisation which is like a homeless hostel. They do sleep provisioning and stuff like that. And it's just like it's all care to try and like get them off the streets and stuff.
And was that for a particular age group, or was that like?
That's for like 17 upwards.
Okay.
And there's just a lot of things. And put it this way, there's like a big eye opener regarding stuff like that.
And then on top of that, you also do music. Was that kind of at the same kind of time that you were doing that? Or?
Working in that environment in the care industry, that sort of like gave me the inspiration to write the stuff I do now, because it's just right in your face.
Right. See,
the thing is, you have to be like non-judgmental if you're in like the care sector as well. Which obviously, I'm like that in general anyway. I'm not a person to like judge people. But yeah, it's really good for my music as well, because I find out different things all the time. When you read like risk assessments and stuff like that, so obviously it makes you know why the person or he or she got into the situation they got into in the first place.
Okay, so I mean, So you've kind of got like a single it's kind of doing the circuit right now. Is that right?
Yeah, called Never the Mental Health.
Yeah.
Never the
Produced
mental
by my man,
health.
Mr. Sorry?
Never the mental health.
Yeah,
Okay.
produced by my man, Mr. X himself.
Jeez. Jeez. So I mean,
I mean,
okay.
that's the
I mean that.
soldier of production.
Yeah, that track actually is it's quite revealing basically because obviously it kind of shows the different areas that people can have mental health issues. Is that the kind of thing that you kind of face every day when you work?
Yes, to be honest, because where I'm working now is a lot more chill compared to before because the homeless hostel is just like a lot of challenging behaviour and stuff like that. And so you face a bit of like bit of mental health situations regarding everything, to be honest. But
Does everybody kind of have different stories about like
yes,
why they're there,
exactly.
or is it kind of like, oh, there's kind of similarities?
There's similarities, and there's like, okay, let me go into the subject of alcohol as well. Right now, this is like from where I used to work before. And what I've got to realize when people have certain problems, and if they do take what they're not supposed to be taking, it's a blocker.
Right.
So that takes their mind off things. But the frightening thing is, what happens is while they're taking while they're trying to help their habits, they're getting deeper and deeper into that situation, which is going to be really unhealthy for them.
Yeah.
So
So basically, you're saying that the alcohol or whatever it is spiraling people further down rather than,
yeah,
putting a
instead of
band-aid on.
them. So there's times when I had to do like advocacy, right? So that was like getting onto the job centre and trying to help the guys make sure they get their checks and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
just to make sure that they're not going to be on the street. So that's why we help them out with homeless provisions and stuff like that. There's this other thing called the outreach.
The outroot.
Outreach, yeah.
Outreach, yeah.
Outreach. Okay.
Outreach, yeah, yeah. So I've done a bit of the outreaches as well on the streets and stuff on Cardiff. But you just don't realise how much people are homeless at the time when I was doing it.
Wow.
But it's a great big number, especially like young teenagers and stuff.
Wow.
And it's just really concerning to see like really young people on the streets.
Wow. I mean, kudos to you for actually, I mean, like, because you started it volunteering as well, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, and stuff. And it's obviously people like you that obviously are helping the matter. And I mean, like, are you still doing that now? So let's move forward to now, E. And what challenges are you facing now regarding that? Are you still working, or are you now on lockdown with everyone else?
Well, at the moment now I'm on lockdown with everyone else.
Okay, and so
Yeah.
is that something that your employers have told you that you have to do?
Yeah, well, what they're doing is like, even though we're on lockdown, but there's like certain amount of staff members that they still need to be in so that we can like assist the guys that are in the home residential home.
Right.
So there's like few staff members on lockdown, and I'll be back at work tomorrow.
So you're working tomorrow?
I'm working tomorrow, yeah.
See, okay, and
Yeah.
so
But we've been like really careful. We're in the PPE stuff and the masks and making sure we protect ourselves. We're not letting any of the residents go out.
Oh, so the
Okay.
residents are on lockdown and you're kind of on lockdown,
yes,
but you have
exactly.
do you have to wear a uniform and do the people have to wear one? How is that kind of interaction kind of happening because of the
Well, what
social
we do like
distancing thing?
bring 2 sets of clothes and stuff like that. So but make sure we put all the bacterial liquid and stuff like that. But that's a natural thing anyway. That's not something I would never do. I'll do that anyway.
Right.
So my day-to-day life, it's nothing unusual having to like protect yourself and wear all the protective clothing and stuff like that. But no, we bring a set of clothes, and then as soon as we get home and stuff, what we do before I get home, we go in the showers and stuff like that, specifically
Right.
for the staff members and stuff. And then we will just get ourselves organised, and then we leave. And same following like what other days we got to work as well.
So even though it seems a little bit usual, is there anything that you feel that you've learnt from this current situation with the virus that spread? Is there
Well, you know,
anything?
to be honest, I could say I'm still learning because it's just like it just came, boom, just, you know what I mean? All
Yeah.
of a sudden. So I could never say, I could never say, yeah, I've learned it. I'm just in the process of learning
I
to
mean, a
try and
lot of people are
understand.
learning along the way. What's one of the main things that you think, okay, I didn't see that, or you think, oh, this was something I didn't really know before?
Yeah, well, yeah, it all came to like a surprise to me, to be honest.
The
I mean, so
lockdown part, or your approach to
the
work?
lockdown
Which part?
part, the lockdown part.
Okay.
But you know, it's obviously to protect other people's on the outskirts, so and trying to get involved with other people, and so that spread of infection. So that's the best thing at the moment.
See.
Yeah,
Now, what you're out there now? You're considered to be one of the guys that's on the front line, basically, because
yeah.
obviously
Us
you're if,
support workers and the nurses. We're
absolutely
in,
Yeah.
yeah, we're definitely in the front line.
you're on the front
Because
line.
basically, we both need each other. Nurses need support workers, and vice versa. You know what I mean, so we provide a duty of care to the residents and ourselves. Because anything like, although we're got a duty of care to them, but we could still be like at risk as well as the residents are.
See. So
So once we,
what advice could you give to help and support people in this situation? Is there anything? Because obviously you're out there and you're seeing stuff, obviously, that a lot of us don't get to see. So what kind of advice would you give people regarding
like
the situation?
like I would say like just keep yourself safe, to be honest. And if anyone that wants to do any online volunteering to try and help people, I would say have a goal. The best thing to do is phone up inquiries, and they give you some information of what to do.
Are they looking
But
for people? Because you said maybe you're on lockdown, but do they actually need more people in now to volunteer?
not at the moment. They've got enough people at the moment.
Right.
But I won't be so surprised because anything can just happen. You can like make a plan, and after it gets changed to something else. So always be prepared.
And what kind of characteristics and maybe age and all that kind of stuff? What is it they're looking for somebody who volunteers? Is there kind of like a criteria?
Oh, well, I won't really say like too much of an age difference. We'll say like from 20 years upwards. Yeah, as long as you're volunteering, that sort of like shows that you're willing to give your time
See.
to people that need help.
Sure.
And once you're willing to give time and you're not getting paid for it, it opens up doors for you as well.
Of course. And
But
regarding maybe like the homeless people and stuff, because obviously, people are on, lockdown in their areas, and this is kind of
yeah,
happening worldwide. But obviously, if you don't have a home to go to, what's the kind of
exactly.
situation for like people who are homeless? Like, what are they being
See,
advised?
right about now, the only thing is, I would say the council, because obviously they're stepping in, and then they will sort of like provide a service for them so that they stay off the street. Because I know there is actually obviously floor space home provisions,
Right.
or some people get tents as well.
Okay, so they're actually providing tents for people who are
Yeah,
homeless during this time, so they can kind of like be
and
safe.
they're trying to cut down the numbers of all the people congregating together because obviously, again, spread of infection. So they're trying to keep it down as much as possible.
Okay. So I mean, amongst all of this now, I mean, also you're an artist as well. And
Yeah.
you've got a track out called Never the Mental Health.
Question: how does one measure wealth? Personally, I would say is in the health. Some have the wealth from which they had the health. Materialistic stuff that can go back on the shelf. Please give a hand to the victim of disorders. Try to understand why they go through such traumas. Go through bad traumas, you can see it through their auras. Disorders brings out rage and horror.
Do you find time to be creative amongst all this happening, or is it no
Because of,
time?
well, do you know what? It's funny that you said that. But because of what's happening now, that just gave me a massive inspiration. So I've got that pen. I'm just writing all the time. So I've got like a good amount of stuff I'll say the equivalent to more than an EP, to be honest.
Equivalent to an EP, yeah.
Yeah. Or more than that, even more than that.
Okay, I mean, like
It's just getting the... Go on.
it is crazy that during kind of these kind of times, people still find the time to write music and stuff.
Do you know what? It's funny because sometimes I'm at work. I've managed to like give one of the residents the cure they need. Then I'm finding myself with a pen and I'm writing stuff. And then I've got like little bits and different bits of paper.
Yeah.
And then when it's time to go home, I put them all together. Then I've actually got a few verses or a few tracks.
That's sick.
Yeah, because inspiration's a funny thing.
It comes
there's
from
no
all
warning.
it comes from all different forms, and it all comes all different places. And this is how music's created. Actually, if you go back to the blues and jazz music, it came from massive depression and stuff like that. So
that's very true.
Okay, so
and this is the best time for people to even be more creative because of what's going on.
Because it's music's therapy, isn't it? And right this minute now, we will need a bit of
therapy. It takes away
therapy.
certain things from your mind. Everyone's got something that they do that would occupy their mind and take them away from stuff you don't want to think about.
Cool. Is your creative process kind of changed or adapted whilst these kind of things are happening?
I'll just say I'm just going to elevate non-stop.
That's it.
And push myself to the limit as far as I can go.
That's it.
Okay, the last question now, basically. Do you think that the events that are happening right now has changed your perspective of life, or is things still the same to you, or are you looking at things differently now? Well,
things are not really different because now it's going to be like a situation of being restricted, isn't it? So it's not exactly the same. Because it's completely different. You're used to being free and doing what you do and stuff like that. But now that's going to be taken away from you. You're actually restricted.
So it's literally...
to a certain extent. But I mean, like, the best thing to do is just try and keep as positive as possible and try to find little things to do at your home or work or whatever or online. Don't just think, oh, that's it. Because the minute you think, well, that's it, then you're giving up on hope, then obviously it's going to take you down. And you don't need it. Constant elevation is the key to unlock doors.
Excellent. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for that. Emarvellous all the way from Cardiff. All right, so how can people find you? You've got this track out as well. Maybe people would probably love to kind of hear it now. So where can they hear more about your music and yourself?
You can hear it on YouTube. I've got it on Instagram as well.
What's your address?
What's your handles?
Oh, Emarvellous9.
Emarvellous9.
And of course, we'll put that information so that guys can spell it and everything like that. Get the right spelling. Go and check out that single.
Yeah.
Never mind the mental health, because we all need to keep ourselves in good mental health. For
it's
sure.
all about the well-being, definitely.
That's it. So thank you so much for speaking to us, and we will catch you guys soon. If you want to keep in contact with us here at Blackmindsmatter, then you can leave your comments, feedback and suggestions in the comments below wherever you find this. If you want to email us, it can be at info@blackmindsmatters.co.uk. You can find all the information on our social handles as well at blackmindsmatters.co.uk, and we'll catch you guys soon. For up-to-date government and healthcare guidelines on the current situation, please visit www.gov.uk. You're listening to the Black Minds Matters podcast in association with WCEN.